Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you very much for invitation. Veronica, thank you for the presentation and introduction. If we talk about digital transformation started in the years 50s or 70s, and at that moment in time, we would not be able to talk about artificial intelligence, who is now present in our activity machine learning and the big data. Digital transformation in Moldova has integrated several sectors gradually, some faster, some not so faster, and the energy sector is also doing the first steps in this sense. The war started by Russia in Ukraine has catalyzed the massive changes in Moldova. I'd like to speak about the first change in Moldova, and that's the idea that we became candidate country to the European Union. The second very important change was generated in the energy sector, especially in those days when the war in Ukraine started. And together with the Ukraine, we have disconnected from the Soviet power grids. We've disconnected from Russian and Belarusian networks or grids, and we did this without our citizens, and we've connected to the European transmission, energy transmission grid from Europe. And normally these tests would take about 15 systems in order to remain connected. But take into account the difficult situation, even since that moment, as of today, we are part of this grid. And the third very important change was the creation of a Ministry of Energy as a result of the crisis in the energy sector, which was generated by the war. What's our current situation in the energy sector? We actually today depend 100% from imports. The natural gas used in Moldova are 100% imported. Oil products are also 100% important, and about 80% of the power energy, electrical energy we use, come from Transnistria, from outside. The other 20% is from Moldova and from Transnistria. But when we talk about the strategic energy goals till 2050, we have a vision and a national energy and climate plan and a legal document that is to be approved at the national level. So to detail a little bit in terms of this information, first of all, we talk about energy security. What currently energy security means? This actually means that we need to make sure we have gas stocks. We need to make sure that we invest in renewable energy, that we digitalize the energy sector, and that we invest in innovations. We need to make sure that our energy markets are competitive, and in this sense, we've already brought the OPCOM and energy stock in our discussions. When we talk about energy stock exchange, when we talk about the architecture of Soviet buildings, for these buildings, 50% of energy is lost due to the concrete blocks, the structure from concrete of the buildings we live in. That's why we need to invest in the apartments that we have, to change the facades, the windows, the doors, and for the future to make sure that the blocks which are built both in Chisinau or outside Chisinau are energy efficient. And another major goal is to make sure that we protect our customers and the energy poverty is decreasing. And of course, we talk about energy sustainability, renewable energy, and lower emissions. At least till 2030, according to this National Energy and Climate Plan, we have the obligation to triple the production of renewable energy from renewable resources in Moldova. So we have 11%. By 2013, we'd like to have 27% or even more. Now let's come back to the digitalization aspect. What have we proposed to do and what we've already started to do? We talk about the smart metering and modular digitalization of the sector. We also talk about cyber security and safeguarding of our energy infrastructure and also fostering innovation or sandboxes, so-called sandboxes in English. All these elements are related to digitalization. Last year in June, with the support of UNDP pilot program and the support of Italian government, we have started the smart metering project. And in that project, we've assumed to install 35,000 smart meters. We've installed already more than 3,000. In the next 6 months. We are about to install the other 32,000 remain. And via this project, we want to test this preferential tariff price, to have a cost benefit analysis, which we would develop and present to the National Energy Regulatory Agency. And by this project, we want to modernize the energy sector, because even if it sounds too common, without these smart meters, without modernization, without smart grids, we cannot evolve in the other areas in the energy sector. The next project that we want to implement to create a national register of consumption data, because currently in Moldova have different identification codes, if we can call them so, and every one of us, each one of us, when they receive the bills for gas, electricity, they are quantified measures. They have different measures every month, so this creates confusion. Basically, in this digitalization process, we want for the long term in our own profile or our own account on that platform, to have on the one hand the possibility to pay for the bills, and on the other hand using this personal profile, and whilst having this smart meter at home, to be able to connect the washing machine remotely to make it function, or if we have a TV or AC appliance, again to be able to do this remotely. And this registry of data basically will integrate also the geospatial information, and the platforms owned by the state, and those purchases will be integrated. And I believe that this smart concept will be fully absorbed by the energy sector, including by this project. Another very interesting initiative, maybe if it's for the no, it's not for us. Well, these are the energy sandboxes, kind of a playground elements. The sandboxes which are meant for playing, but if we talk about energy sector, these are spaces for testing the ideas of innovators that have no other place to test this. What would be the added value of this element? Given that Moldova is not part of the European Union, is not so bureaucratized, and when we talk about innovation, it's very important to take into account the speed in this process. And while studying the speed in this innovation testing in other countries, which lasts to maybe to 5 years, we want this Moldova to be faster. In that sense, we have already a law which is prepared. We want investors to invest in Moldova, to work with the engineers on the spot, so that for the long term, we make sure that we have enough people that stay in Moldova and that are able to promote the innovations. On that slide, you have a few of those successful powerful areas like electromobility, differentiated tariffs, smart grids, integration of renewable energy sources. Basically, the idea is that the energy sector is developing quite fast, and possibly as of today, we don't know what will be the status of the energy sector in about 5 years in terms of innovations. And I reiterate, in order to do this, we need the digitalization of the energy sector. Cyber security, again, which goes hand in hand with the digitalization of the energy sector, has become a need and a challenge for our country. And by the way, the cyber attacks already became something natural, something common for our country, unfortunately. But it is our duty to endow, to equip our energy sector with software equipment that can protect the energy sector, protect the data, avoid losses of data, data breaches. And we also propose to create a cyber operations center, a unique center for the whole sector, because that's the critical infrastructure and that's of major importance for the safety of a country. To conclude, I would like to mention that the challenges are huge. And I would lie to you if I would tell you that everything is okay. But on the other hand, the support that Moldova benefits from currently is unprecedented, especially investments in the energy sector. Investments in the energy sector, which are meant to help us to succeed everything we proposed, reach to amounts of hundreds millions of euro. But there's a big element in this equation, in this formula, that we have a vision, and this helps us. And we also have a dynamic team within our ministry, and I believe that's the success key for our success in order to achieve what we have proposed. Thank you.